My name is Frank Peter. I speak to kings, princes, and prime ministers. If you're hearing my voice, you are either one of them or you're about to be. Now, let's talk. In every generation, there are men and women who are like to call pillars of our civilization. They are trailblazers who sort of lead us in a certain direction. They see a light, they have a thought, they have a strong belief, and then they just want to impose it on the entire generation. So much so that we cannot imagine our lives without their products, without their minds, without their innovations. We admire them. We have them as role models. We have them as household names. We want to be as wealthy as they are. We want to be as influential as they are. They want to literally hold together the economic, social, and political framework of our society, and every other aspect that truly matters. Now, although these men seem to have risen at random, a close look at history shows us that they rise in what I like to call badges. Over time, I have observed that great men and women come in sets. There is a certain time in their era where they all rise together as one. There may be a gap of a few years, but essentially they are only a few years apart. They might be a few years apart in age and in process, but they somehow find a way to converge at the zenith of power and influence in their era. Let's take the 1800s, for example. In the industrial age, we had men like Andrew Carnegie, Cornelius Vanderbilt, John D. Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan. These men, different backgrounds, different experiences, different things driving them. But we see history repeat itself again in recent times where we had men like Jobs, Wozniak, Dell rise together in what again I like to call badges. Not knowing each other and maybe never meeting each other until they rose to the top of their sphere. But we still rise again in badges. Now we see this pattern a third time. Men like Elon, Zuckerberg, Page, Brin. We see these men rise together in their own time, becoming the founders, leaders, and pioneers of entirely new technologies. This, I have found, is no coincidence at all. And we are at an interesting time in history where such men must rise again. And I'm incentivized to believe that you are one of them. Which is why we'll be discussing the principles, disciplines, and thought paradigms that consistently make for influence, power, and impact in every era and in every dispensation. Join this community, stay intentional, because we're going to be rising from total disbelief that you are one of these giants to actually becoming one of them. The next generation of founders, leaders, and pioneers are rising, and this is where it begins. Welcome to the FLP channel.